Hello everyone, again this is Richard Solomon of my YouTube channel Cha and My Narratives, The Stroke Survivor. Okay, a while ago I did a vlog with regards to the role of Department of Health of two agencies in the Philippines, which are the Department of Health and the Food and Drug Administration here in the Philippines. So I defined uh, the role of each in that vlog, and today I'm gonna discuss the how drug are developed, or what are the phases of drug development. When you say drug, it could be medicines, oral, vaccines, uh, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, by the way, shout out to my doctor friend. He's an oncologist, uh, Dr. Roel Tolentino of the um, St. Luke's Medical Center in Quezon City. Hi, Doc. Thank you very much. Um, please, he's actually my new critic right now. Doc, wag masyado ah. Not too much. Okay, anyway, you might be wondering, or anyone might be, if you haven't known this yet, there is a strenuous process and a lengthy process. A drug can be developed like from 10 to 15 years or even more, okay, before it is even launched. Now, today I'm going to discuss to you what are the phases of drugs. There are actually 5 phases. The 4 are what you call pre-market phase, and the 5th phase is actually the post-market phase. Okay, so I will be just reading to you. I cannot show you this, but I will be, for your reference, I would be including this on the description, and you can check that out, the link of this. This is coming from the US FDA. This is actually just like any FDA's or drug development phase uh, uh, issued by FDA anywhere in the world. They're all similar. Yeah. I cannot show you this, but I'll be reading each phase to you one on one. Okay, so as I've said, there are 5 phases of how a drug is developed. Okay, so uh, phase number 1 is what you call the discovery and development. Okay, just like, for example, I'll give you an example when about ivermectin. It was discovered by a Japanese doctor named Dr. Omura in a soil sample in Japan, wherein he discovered actually a soil dwelling bacteria that kills parasites. And so he submitted, he he shipped, he sent this uh, soil dwelling bacteria to Dr. Campbell, who was uh, since at the time even was already connected with the Merck Pharmaceuticals. And out of that soil dwelling um, bacteria, they came up with the development of ivermectin, okay, which is called Mectazine. A branded name of that is Mectazine of Merck. So that's how is the discovery of and development of ivermectin, as it's phase 1, no? So phase 1 is discovery and development. So it could come from a soil, it could come from animals, it could come from plants. So whatever it is, and usually they discover that with a purpose. Sometimes it's accidental with a purpose. Like for example, if you there's a certain disease or uh, ailment that they needed to have a drug, to find a drug solution for that, to cure, to prevent. So they try to discover uh, possible drugs that could be for the prevention and treatment of that kind of disease. Okay, so number two, the second phase is the preclinical research. Okay, it says here, once a drug discovery has been made, it must go through now both preclinical and clinical research with supporting reports tied to its review process. Preclinical research is a basic preliminary phase that involves testing the drug on animals and basic testing for safety flags. Okay, ano po what are these preclinical research? This is what you call now the in vitro and the in vivo study in animals. Yet, what is in vitro? In vitro, another term for that, or layman's term for that, is test tube testings or test tube trials, wherein a certain microorganism is can be in a test tube or what do you call the centrifuge. There's like equipments that is used, and either or it's looked into with a microscope and made some tests. It could be in a test tube or it could be in a glass disc like that, the one that you can see wherein they put the microorganisms there, or the bacteria, and they put the drugs that they've been developing put there, and then you would see what you call inhibition. They measure the inhibition, the size of the inhibition, where it's the drug interaction with the microorganism. So that's in vitro. It's not on animals, it's not on humans. And then there's the in vitro. So these are part of the phase 2. In vitro, they start it first with animals, like guinea pigs, rats, mice, what have you. Okay? So these are the phase 2 preclinical research. Number 3 is the clinical research. Phase 3 is the clinical research. So phase 3 can be one of the most important steps in drug development because it already involves human trials. Okay? Drug companies and the FDA have a specific standards. They have standards. They have parameters in testing for clinical trials, which include the professionals involved in the scientific testing, the selection criteria of the humans being tested. This is already what you call the randomized random clinical trials, RCTs, which is the most comprehensive way of testing and most accurate way of testing these drugs. Randomized clinical trials, RCTs they call it, wherein they have a subject of about thousands, tens of thousands of subjects for these medicines to be tested. Okay, so selection criteria of the humans being tested, the setting in which the clinical test takes place, even the location, and more. Clinical trial registration is also required and heavily followed by pharma professionals across the sector. Okay, so usually these are done, of course, by the pharmaceutical companies who are discovered and developing these products, these drugs or medicines for their own launch. These are their own products, and they spend millions of this because it could last from 10 to 15 years or even more. So they spend millions of dollars in the development of this drug. So that's also the phase 3, which involves clinical trials already in humans. And phase 4 is the FDA review. FDA review, that's the phase 4. The Food and Drug Administration is one of the primary regulators involved in the aspect of drug market, because they see that there is a high standards for drug approval in the US, often lead drug development testing in the first 3 phases, you see, to last for approximately 10 to 15 years before being approved. That's long, right? In phase 4, companies submit fully documented research and findings to the FDA for review. If a submission is accepted, the FDA will provide a response within 6 to 10 months. It will take them 6 to 10 months for them to respond if they will give an approval of the drug or not, based on the substantial documents that they've submitted with regards to the results of their clinical trials, of all the phases of trials: in vitro, in vivo, human, animal, human trials. Okay, so that's really tedious, right? And last but not the least is phase 5, which is the FDA post-market safety monitoring. That's why I said a while ago, there's two major parts of the 5 phases. The first 4 I said is the pre-market phase, and the last part, which is phase 5, is the post-market phase. And this phase 5 is about post-market safety monitoring. There are several aspects of post-approval safety monitoring for a marketed drug. The FDA monitors all types of drug advertising, even the advertising, if it's accurate, they monitor that, and monitors even complaints and problems associated with drug. As such, it has a power to limit drug sales, imagine that, and or offer warnings. So dapat there should be a monitoring of the advertisements even, and the limiting of drug sales depending on what drug is that, and depending on also the testing that they have done with it, whatever the drug is, or vaccines. In general, the FDA also does routine manufacturing inspection. As I've said this also to my the recent vlog about DOH and FDA's role. Furthermore, the FDA is involved in the patent protections also, and generic drug transitions of all drugs. Okay, so pati even the patent, because every product, especially if it's newly discovered and developed, it has a patent. So there's also a number of years of patent of a drug company before, like 10 years I guess, of every drug. Before, when it expires, it can now be copied or made by other manufacturers or companies. For example, like when I was in a certain drug company, we launched clarithromycin or Clarisid of my company, and it after, like maybe after 10 years, when the drug patents expired, it is now can now be manufactured also by other companies. Okay, so that's the way it goes. Okay, so those, I hope you now understand that a certain drug, vaccines, medicines, and all has a long time of studies and trials and development, and even approval from the FDA also, before it reach the public, the consumer, for public use and consumption. So that with these phases, the drugs and medicines, and even vaccines of whatever it is, for whatever it is, are made sure that it is safe and it it is safe for people, for everyone, for human use especially. May it be for human or for animals also. Even cosmetics. So these are the uh, five phases of the drug development. Okay, with that, please comment below. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed it, and please like if you did. Do like the this vlog or video. Thank you very much. With that, as I always say, peace, God bless, and love one another, more so your families. Goodbye for now.